Okay, mid-year check, checking in, halftime check, check up from the neck up. Which one of these do you want to talk about? Because it's that time of year. If your inbox isn't already flooded with messages talking about this, it will be soon. We're trying to get in a day early. It's Robb Z, and I am coming at you this week with a lesson on how to get the most out of the first half of the year that we experienced, and more importantly, how to really set yourself up for the rest of 2021. So stick around and listen in, because I've got a really cool tip for you on how to evaluate where you're at, and most importantly, get aligned with where you want to go. Okay, so we're halfway through 2021, and if it's going like for you, like it's going for most of our clients, we're in a good place, right? We're somewhere between above surviving and in some cases really thriving, and a lot of that has to do with what you set yourself up for in 2021. What kind of energizing goals did you set for yourself? So right now is a perfect time for you to just take a second, take a minute, it's more than a minute. Take a couple hours, maybe even a half a day. You know, we talk about daily, weekly, quarterly, taking that time off to rest, rejuvenate, take time for renewal, and most importantly, check in with where you're at. So I'd really encourage you over the next week or so, is we've got the holiday coming up, so it might just be a nice little built-in time, is step away from your day-to-day. Step away from what you got going on and just do a little bit of a debrief on how the first half of the year treated you. How are you tracking? Are you on track to get what you wanted to get? How do you feel about the results that you got? Where do you need to make adjustments at all? Are you dead nuts straight where you're supposed to be? Are you way ahead? Are you off the back? Just pay attention to where you're at and identify where, if anywhere, you need to go. So here's a really easy, well, I say it's easy, but once you understand how it works, it's really impactful and easy to implement, and it's a great tool that you can use in order to evaluate where you're at, and most importantly, clarify and prioritize where you want to go. I learned about this thing called a SWOT analysis years ago when I used to work in the bicycle industry. We actually had a quarterly meeting where we sat down, all of the heads of the departments came together, and we sat down with the owner of the company and the vice presidents and finance and product management and engineering and we sat and we spent 3 days in a conference room doing what was known as a SWOT analysis. SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So what you'll actually want to do is create a grid, right? It's just four squares. And you want to have strengths in the top left, you want to have weaknesses on the bottom left, opportunities on the top right, and threats on the bottom right. And what you want to do is take some time and identify what are your personal strengths? What are your business's strengths? Strengths and weaknesses, you always want to focus on internal things, right? What are the things that you have the most control over? So lay out, what are your biggest strengths in 2021? What have your biggest strengths been for the first half of the year? Where do you sit or stand today? And what strengths can you really anchor and focus on? On the flip side, or along those lines, what are your personal weaknesses? Where have you come up short year to date? Where do you feel like you're lacking a little bit? Then you move over to opportunities. What's the greatest opportunity that you have between now and the end of the year to either achieve your goals or blow them out of the water? And it may be what you've been doing, it may be something totally new. And then threats. What are the external threats that are in the way of you getting where you want to go, achieving your goals, blowing your goals out of the water, getting the relationships you want, losing the weight, whatever you want to call it? Do this exercise. Do a SWOT analysis, and then you go into each module, go into each quadrant, and identify the number one or top priority 1 to 3 things that you can focus on between now and the end of the year. So what are the biggest priority strengths that you can double down on between now and the end of the year? What are the biggest weaknesses you see that need to be addressed right now that you can work on, so you don't have those things in the way between now and the end of the year? What are the 1 to 3 biggest opportunities you have to really move the needle externally in your business, and where are you going to focus? And then what are the biggest threats that you need to be aware of between now and the end of the year to get you where you want to go? So do this exercise, this SWOT analysis. It's done with businesses all the time in all different industries. It doesn't matter what you do, it's absolutely applicable. Every single human being that I've ever talked to has had internal strengths, internal weaknesses, external opportunities, and external threats. Go through that exercise. Take some time, step away from the day-to-day in the next week or so where you can really dive in and focus on that. This is the type of work that we love doing with our clients. These are the conversations we're having day in and day out with our impact coaching clients. So if you need help with this, absolutely reach out. We're really good at helping people identify strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So listen, if this video has been helpful, absolutely share this, hit the like button, subscribe. We love getting people in our world. Be sure to share us with the people you know so that we can all take on the rest of 2021 and kick as much rear end as we possibly can. All right, I'll look forward to catching up with you next week. In the meantime, throw down in the comments below. Let us know, what is your number one strength, weakness, opportunity, or threat that you're going to focus on between now and the end of the year. Make it a great rest of your day.